Hey, they violate my rights, y'all.
He's violating our rights. Just come to Walmart over a doggone pair of shoes and taking him to jail.
Did the police in Gadsden, Alabama violate the Fourth Amendment when they arrested this guy Eddie for not handing over his ID, where they did not suspect Eddie of committing any crime at all?
They called us. Yeah. She wasn't sure what's going on.
Sir, I hadn't even made it in Walmart.
You're fine.
But just because they wanted to give his personal information over to Walmart so that they could trespass him from that store.
There's no crime committed, okay? Walmart is private property. They want you banned from Walmart. So we got to be able to identify. I need your driver's license.
No, sir, I have not. Have I committed a crime?
I'm going to ban you from Walmart.
No.
Because for some reason, cops across the country see it as their first priority to assist Walmarts with mistreating and violating the rights of their customers.
You're going to identify yourself.
I haven't committed a crime, sir.
It's against the ordinances of the city of Gadsden, and it's against the...
Am I being detained?
You're about to be if you don't...
For what?
For not refusing to ID yourself. I'm not taking you to jail if you ID yourself.
I'm not going to ID, sir. I haven't broken any laws.
Let's break this down so that everybody understands what their rights are, not just in Alabama, but across the country. And in fact, there's only one thing that you need to say to the police when they confront you in some public place like this. An Alabama man and his mom just wanted to go to Walmart to pick up a pair of shoes. A Karen employee at Walmart ends up calling the police, not because any crime was committed, but just because she wants to trespass him from the store. And instead of doing it herself, she knows that the local police department will do it for her. This occurred on June 6th, 2025 in Gadsden, Alabama. But it was June 18th of 1963 where Gadsden was the site of a significant civil rights event when sheriff's deputies used electric cattle prods and arrested over 450 black protesters during a sit-in against segregation and voter suppression. Additionally, the city of Gadsden's struggles with industrial decline in the late 20th century led to its designation as one of the 7 worst cities to live in the United States by Rand McNally in 1989. But how are they doing now?
Hello, and welcome to Gadsden. I am Mayor Craig Ford. We are so happy you've chosen to spend your time in Gadsden, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about our city and invite you to explore all it has to offer. Our storied past contributed to key moments of American history, from the Civil War to the Industrial Revolution and to the Civil Rights era. And now we are growing again.
See that?
My rights, y'all.
See that?
I've not done anything.
Look, he hadn't done nothing. Look at him. Look at him.
If you start doing this, you're going to go to jail for...
I ain't going to jail. I have a right. I can record. I can record. Stop.
Get her off the road, man.
Kick off your shoes and stay a while, or stop in again and say hello. Whatever you do when you're in Gadsden, make sure you have fun, show a smile, and let everyone know you're happy to be here, because one thing's for sure, we're happy to have you.
How you guys doing today?
Not you, man.
I'd rather stay right here.
No.
I'm staying.
We've got a complaint.
I'm staying right here.
Against Walmart.
That sounds good. So I'm going to talk to him.
Okay.
And nobody's going to jail.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on. I'm recording. He's recording. So everything's fine. Nothing's happening.
We're fine. Everything's good.
I just want to talk to him, then I'll come talk to you, and then we'll go from there.
This is Sergeant Unlu of the Gadsden Police Department. He was called to the front entrance of the Gadsden Walmart by a Walmart security employee who apparently was not wearing any sort of identifiable Walmart uniform or name tag, basically to trespass this guy Eddie from the Walmart that they were just leaving after buying a pair of shoes. Eddie is a subscriber to this channel. I got a chance to get his side of the story about what happened before the camera turned on. And this is what he said. On June 6th, my niece, my mother, and I went to the Five Below store in Gadsden, and the Walmart's about 500 yards roughly away. When we left Five Below, I decided to walk to Walmart and meet my niece, she's only 4 years old, at the entranceway. While I was walking, I passed a lady standing outside the fence of the outside lawn and garden center. Her hair was dyed blonde, she had a solid red t-shirt on, and had tattoos on her arms. entrance. I didn't think much about it at the time. I made it to the entrance where I waited on my family to meet. As we were getting a shopping cart, the lady in the red t-shirt approached us and asked if we knew each other. My mom said, yes, that's my son. Then the lady started saying they have a lot of homeless people causing trouble. She started to ask another question, and I interrupted her and I said, mind your own business. This hurt her feelings. Then she replied that it is her business, what we were doing, because she is Walmart's security. I asked her again to mind her own business and leave us alone. Also, Eddie says that when this lady first approached him, she did not identify herself. She had no name tag. She had no employee vest on. And initially he thought that she was just another customer at Walmart like him. He then walked inside the Walmart to buy his pair of shoes. When she started to follow us, I flipped her off. She said, I'm calling the cops, and she went into the security room. My family and I continued to the shoe department, got some shoes, and headed to the checkout. After that, I went to the customer service to speak with a manager about her conduct. The manager said that's not her department. She told me to call the 1-800 number. I left the customer service desk and went out the door, and that's when I saw a man in a red t-shirt working. I asked him if he was Walmart's security. He said that he's just a contractor. It was at that moment that 4 police officers approached him outside the entrance to Walmart and said they wanted to talk.
That's all.
Yeah, it's fine.
The reason they called us.
Yeah.
They get a lot of people coming here hollering and screaming. She wasn't sure what's going on.
Sir, I hadn't even made it in Walmart.
You're fine. I'm just trying to explain.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
There's nothing like, there's no crime committed. Okay. So she called us thinking that you guys are in an argument. Wanted to make sure she's fine and baby's fine. That's fine. That's whatever. Did she cuss at you? Well, that young lady in there.
No, she didn't curse. No.
She said that you start cussing at her.
I never cussed, sir.
And I'm telling you what you said.
Okay.
That's all.
I'm being honest with you.
I'm with you.
She didn't cuss at me. I didn't cuss at her.
All I'm saying is that's what she said. So, Walmart is private property. They want you banned from Walmart. And whatever complaint she may have against her, we'll take that as well. But moving forward, you can't come to Walmart. Do you understand? This has nothing to do with us.
No.
This is, hold on 1 second. We're not done yet. So we got to be able to identify, I need your driver's license.
No, sir. I have not. Have I committed a crime?
I'm going to ban you from Walmart.
No. If I haven't committed a crime, I will not ID.
You have to ID yourself.
I do not.
Because we're investigating.
That's not
true.
true.
Ask you for ID.
No.
You're going to identify yourself.
I haven't committed a crime, sir.
It's against the ordinances of the city of Gadsden, and it's against the...
Am I being detained?
You're about to be if you don't...
For what?
For not refusing to ID yourself.
I don't have to ID. I have not committed a crime. What's your RDS?
I'm trying to explain to you.
Okay, I'm not going to ID.
Let me see your hands. Don't hide your hands from me.
You're going to arrest me under threat.
Don't hide your hands.
You're going to take me to jail if I don't ID?
I'm not taking you to jail if you ID yourself.
I'm not going to ID, sir. Okay. I haven't broken any laws. Here, Mom. I haven't broken any laws. Look.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's all right. Give me my phone.
It's fine.
I'm going to record it all.
Yeah.
Now, all of this is because a woman at Walmart approached us and asked
me... What's your name and badge number, sir? Jay Ramsey, what's your badge number? Name, badge number. Mom.
Sergeant.
Mom.
Sergeant Unlu, 417.
Okay.
Name, badge number.
All because we went in Walmart and they're harassing us.
So...
This is important. Name, badge number is the guy behind me.
Adams 452.
And what crime have I committed today?
You can record. Just step back.
What crimes have I committed today?
You refuse to identify yourself when we ask while we're investigating what happened here.
What was the crime?
When we're investigating what happened.
What was the crime?
She called us.
Yes, I do. He's my doggone son.
I'm asking you one question. Identify yourself or you're going to get booked in as a John Doe and you won't get released off the
I haven't committed a crime and you guys will...
He just run to Walmart
It's
with
all
me.
right. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Hold on, maybe this officer can help
there.
It's okay.
I'm not going to ID because we were need to.
Since you don't want to listen to it,
well, look,
No, I'm done talking to you.
You done talking?
You violating my rights.
Well, what about when you go in there and curse?
She came... I didn't curse at nobody, sir.
That's the story. Here, now we're talking.
Well, check the camera. Do your investigation. Check the camera.
Well, you know what we're trying to do that. We can
Well,
just
go
not
ahead.
let
There's 4 of you. One of you can check the camera.
What?
I'm not going to. I'm upset.
Okay, well, let's calm it down.
Okay,
Let's talk.
okay. All right.
So we're I'm trying to do.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Simple. Now, I don't know. My name's John Ramsey. Okay. So let's talk as human beings here. Sure. If I came up to you and I said, hey, man, what's going on? My name is John Ramsey. What would you reply?
I don't know. First of all,
Okay.
it's nobody's business what I'm doing.
Okay, well, when
I'm
we
in
got
public.
Okay, you want to talk over me or you want to talk?
We are talking.
Okay, go talk over me. We'll talk. I want to talk.
Go ahead.
Then you reply. Because that's how a conversation goes. We get a complaint here. So-and-so happened. You state it did not happen. But we come here to investigate. We come and say, hey, this is what's going on. We come to talk. Now, you say, hey, man, what's your name? What's going on? And now you don't want to cooperate with said investigation.
I told you, tell me what's going on. Y'all want to handcuff somebody.
Okay.
I am not going to
I
ID.
don't wanna
Y'all do what you want to do.
Why?
He don't even have his ID with
Yeah, I'm
him.
not giving it to him.
He just run to Walmart with me to get a pair
Y'all
of shoes.
violating my rights right now.
We done told you the code with the city ordinance.
I don't care city ordinance. Y'all violating my constitutional rights right
We're
now.
sitting there trying to explain this to you
Well, why I'm in cuffs if you're explaining something to me?
because you're a violation of our city ordinance.
And what's that?
Okay?
What's that?
The code of the city ordinance is to identify yourself.
No.
Yes.
No.
Now you can ignore
What's your
that.
RDS?
You can ignore that all day long.
I'm not going to ID.
Okay. Then you
Then-
go to John W.
Okay.
Do you have any warrants or anything? You have any warrants or anything? Okay. No, that's not an answer. Look at me. That's not an answer.
I don't have to ID. Look,
can
you're
sit there and
violating
show-
my rights.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Look, violating my rights. Hey, hey, they violating my rights, bro.
He's violating our rights. Just come to Walmart over a doggone pair of shoes and taking him to jail. Here, you look at me. You look at me. Violating his rights. See that?
Violating my rights, y'all.
See that?
Not done anything.
Look. Look. He hadn't done nothing. Look at him. Look at him. Here, turn around this way.
Over here, look.
Hey, stop it. Y'all better stop.
Get back.
No, y'all better stop.
Keep recording. Get back.
I am.
Oh, come over here, Mom.
Here,
Mom,
look
come
that
over
way.
here where you can see them.
If you start doing this, you're gonna go to jail for.
I ain't going to jail. I have a
You
right.
are-
I can record. I can record. Stop.
Get her off the roadway.
Stop. I've got a little girl
Get her
with
off
me.
the roadway right now.
All right, give me
Get her off the roadway right now.
I will.
Get her off the roadway. Get her phone. Get her phone. You are not going to accept. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Hey,
I'm not going to the roadway. You do what you're doing. You can record all you want. I don't care.
Yeah, with my hand behind my back.
I'm going to let your hand go because you're not listening.
No. That's what you're
Give her
doing.
phone back. Keep recording.
So, in Gadsden, Alabama, is there some legal obligation to provide physical identification like a driver's license or a state-issued ID to a police officer in a situation such as this where a Walmart is requesting to have a customer trespass from their property, but where even the police officers admit that there's no indication that the individual has committed any crime at all?
There's no crime committed, okay?
Well, first off, I've been able to find no general requirement to carry or show ID in the state of Alabama. There's no Alabama law that mandates individuals to carry physical identification or produce it upon demand unless they're engaged in specific activities such as driving a vehicle, where, of course, a driver's license is required. Now, Alabama does have a stop and identify statute, Alabama Code Section 15-5-30, which allows a police officer to stop a person in a public place and demand their name, address, and an explanation of their actions if the officer has reasonable suspicion that the person is committing or has committed or is about to commit a felony or other public offense. However, the statute does not require producing physical identification, only verbal information such as name, address, and an explanation. If no crime is suspected, there is no legal basis under this statute to demand verbal or physical ID. Now, a police officer can always just walk up to somebody and request ID or ask whatever questions they want. And that's because consensual encounters don't yet trigger the Fourth Amendment. It's not until the individual is detained that the Fourth Amendment is triggered. That's why the only question that one would need to ask a police officer if they find themselves in this situation, the one and only question is this: am I free to go? If the answer to that is yes, then you're free to go. Problem solved. If the answer to that is no, now the Fourth Amendment has been triggered, which you have just now documented. So if you're not free to go, that's what's called a Terry stop. A police officer must have reasonable suspicion to detain you against your will at a Terry stop. Alabama is in the 11th Federal Circuit. The 11th Circuit has held that consistent with the Fourth Amendment, an officer may perform a limited investigatory detention of someone whom he reasonably suspects has committed criminal activity. So it's not just because Walmart asked me to. There has to be some underlying criminal suspicion, reasonable suspicion. The 11th Circuit further held that such stops may last only as long as necessary to achieve their limited investigatory purpose. What is reasonable suspicion? For a lawful Terry stop, an officer needs specific, objective facts, not just a hunch, indicating that a crime or violation has occurred. An officer must be able to clearly explain observable evidence that justifies the stop. No hunches are allowed. No vague feelings or unsupported intuition is allowed. And certainly, because Walmart told me to, is also not allowed. Now, the officer here he did admit that there was no reasonable suspicion. He said that no crime had occurred.
There's no crime committed, okay?
But police officers are allowed to lie, and courts will review these things objectively, not subjectively. So objectively, what is the only possible crime here being evaluated? Why were they called? To trespass Eddie from Walmart. So let's look at the applicable trespass statute in Alabama. Alabama Code Section 13A-7-4. Criminal trespass in the third degree occurs when a person knowingly enters or remains unlawfully on the premises after being told to leave by the owner or their agent, for example, Walmart's staff. So if you were asked to leave Walmart and complied, no trespass has occurred because you did not remain unlawfully. If it's undisputed that no crime was committed, there is no basis for a Terry stop, which is a detention based on reasonable suspicion of a crime, and therefore no legal obligation to provide identification to anyone. But what about the fact that Walmart is private property? Their property, their rules, right? Well, Walmart, as a private property owner, obviously can request that a customer be barred from their premises, and police may assist in that, issuing a trespass notice to ensure that the person does not return. However, issuing a trespass notice does not inherently create a criminal act unless the person refuses to leave or returns after being notified. So if he left when asked and no crime was committed, the police have no legal grounds to detain him or to demand ID solely just to facilitate Walmart's trespass notice. In the 2023 opinion from the 11th Circuit in Edgar versus McCabe, the plaintiff in that case was arrested for refusing to produce physical ID when police demanded it under Alabama's Stop and Identify statute. The 11th Circuit said that Alabama's Stop and ID statute 15-5-30 does not require producing physical ID, only providing verbal information such as name, address, and an explanation. Most important, however, the 11th Circuit noted that if police lack reasonable suspicion of a crime, they still cannot demand any identification, whether verbal or physical, and any arrest for refusing to show ID under such circumstances violates the Fourth Amendment. So while Walmart can call the police and ask the police to help them trespass somebody off the property, neither Walmart nor any sort of town ordinance, nor even Alabama state law, if it attempted to do that, can transgress the Fourth Amendment of the Bill of Rights. Police could have approached him in a consensual encounter and asked for ID, but he should have been free to leave and walk away, because if they're going to detain him, they must have reasonable suspicion. Again, the best way to deal with this is by, from the very beginning, making sure that everybody's on the same page by saying, am I free to go? If the answer is yes, then he has no obligation to provide ID or to remain. And if the answer is no, then he can provide ID, avoid going to jail, avoid getting searched, and yet retain the ability to challenge that action in court after the fact. The Fourth Amendment violation has occurred whether or not you go to jail. And think of it this way, there's no way for you to know for sure whether or not valid, reasonable suspicion exists. While you may know what happened or did not happen with your interaction with Walmart Karen, you don't know for sure what she said when she called 911. All it takes is for her to have alleged that some crime has occurred to the dispatcher, that then being relayed to the responding officers. Boom. Even though it's illegitimate, there is reasonable suspicion to detain you. And while you think you are justified in refusing to identify yourself, the courts are going to side with the cops, and you may suffer the consequences. Remember, it's a common misconception that police have to even articulate to you at the scene what reasonable suspicion they have. There's nothing stopping them from doing that. And why not do that? If you're a police officer and somebody is saying, well, what crime did I commit? I don't want to give you my ID. Why not respect the fact that they are standing on their constitutional rights, the same ones that you enjoy? Why not just articulate whatever reasonable suspicion you have, rather than like here, just in seconds, arresting somebody when you've just said that no crime was committed.
There's no crime committed, okay?
That nobody's going to jail.
Nobody's going to jail.
That there's no problem.
She wasn't sure what's going on.
Sir, I hadn't even made it in Walmart.
You're fine.
Police officers should ask themselves, who am I serving here? Am I really here to serve my community, or am I here to serve this multinational corporation, Walmart? When it's a non-traffic stop pedestrian situation, why not have a checklist in your mind? Is this a consensual encounter, or am I detaining this person? And if so, what is my reasonable suspicion? That should not be an afterthought. Then at least, even if you're wrong, you have made a thoughtful decision and you have the ability to immediately de-escalate a situation if somebody challenges you detaining them. I see no downside to that. I'll let you know if I get any updates from Eddie and his mother here. You can follow along by subscribing both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. You can follow me on X at John Bryan ESQ. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.